We are now moving on to our next case study. Our next case study will be presented by Heath Driscoll of Active Witness.
Morning, everyone. Thanks so much for the great presentations this morning, and thanks very much for having me. I just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Heath Driscoll. I'm the VP of Business Development with Active Witness, and pleasure to be part of the event. It's been a great morning so far, and great to see some familiar and new faces here presenting with me today. So thank you all. Before I get into the case study, some of you may or may not be familiar with Active Witness, and I figured I'd share a little bit of a bit of our backstory before jumping into our discussion on multi-factor credentials and how it's changing facility access. Some of you may know our founder, Rob Bakshi, who unfortunately is not here today. But for those of you seasoned security professionals, and I'm sure that there's lots of you here tuning in today, you may be aware of Rob. Rob's a passionate inventor and entrepreneur who's got deep roots in the security industry. Rob's probably most well known for his time with Silent Witness, of which he was the founder. Silent Witness was a successful Canadian CCTV business that sold to Honeywell in the early 2000s. Prior to the sale, Rob had always wanted to do for Access what he was able to do with the security industry. And it's taken some time for technology to catch up with Rob's vision and what he was hoping to achieve within the industry. And now he's Rob has set out to create the next form of universally accepted credential that balances the need of security, privacy, and convenience. And we've set an audacious goal for ourselves for displacing 10 million plastic credentials by the year 2030. So without further ado, I'll just jump right into what we wanted to chat about today. And so, security in healthcare has got many challenges. I'm sure many of you can agree. The pandemic has certainly changed some things for security professionals, but there's something else that's been changing things at an even more dramatic rate, and that being technology. Technology's changed a lot over the last couple of decades, and exceptionally within the last 4 or 5 years. These challenges largely encompass the complexities of healthcare stakeholders, personnel, authentication, data, and the balance between convenience, privacy, and security. These things are all some of the things that I'm going to be discussing here today. As technology continues to advance and more devices are connected to the internet, security professionals are going to need to adapt to new solutions, implement new strategies for protecting data, physical spaces, and most importantly, protecting the people who reside within them. Healthcare security is a really important topic in the security world for a variety of reasons. First of all, critical infrastructure such as hospitals, clinics, pharmacies, and many more house incredibly important assets for our society. Healthcare facilities house doctors, patients, medication, life-saving equipment, as well as highly sensitive information and medical records. Not only is healthcare security important, but it's also incredibly complex. Physical spaces within hospitals have sensitive information that need protection, as well as physical equipment that's not only very expensive, but can also save your life. Sensitive information can be stored on computers, written down on paper, which could compromise patient privacy as well. There's also valuable equipment that could be stolen, vandalized, if left unattended at an unsecured location. Complexity and security is also heightened by the nature of healthcare operations, and something that we should be cognizant of when designing facility access, namely the movement of people. This requires careful planning when designing your physical security plan, as well as ongoing care during the implementation and maintenance. Stakeholder diversity is probably the largest reason why healthcare security is so complex. Segmenting facility access with different user groups can be a huge challenge for security managers. With most sectors, you only really need to consider customers, employees, contractors, and various other users. In healthcare, however, you must consider doctors, pharmacists, nurses, patients, guards, receptionists, visitors, only to name a few. These additional stakeholders require much more careful planning of facility access as technology evolves and security plans have to change with them. With that being said, there's been a lot of advancement in the world of IoT technology and security over the last decade. Security professionals have a lot more to consider when putting together a facility plan. And when it comes to healthcare, access is one of the most important components. Gone are the days of single-factor authentication for highly secure areas. Hospitals and other critical infrastructure need to be more diligent in their authentication of key personnel. However, it also needs to be convenient. While key cards will and continue to exist, they do represent some security vulnerabilities for a number of reasons. Finding a balance between convenience, security, and privacy can be challenging, but in the world of biometrics, we believe utilizing protocols like multi-factor credentials could be the solution. Additionally, the pandemic has also spurred innovation for better touchless products, which are also an important consideration in keeping healthcare facilities cleanly. We think this will pave the way for digital and biometric credentials. Multi-factor credentials are the technology that we utilize to help resolve these challenges by providing a highly secure credential through the use of single-factor digital keys, as well as two-factor facial authentication. Facial authentication eliminates the concerns over privacy as users' facial biometric information would not be analyzed or stored unless initially prompted by a digital key, meaning that a user must consent before having their biometrics engaged. And from a convenience standpoint, this enables incredibly fast transaction speeds as the credential is only validating one's identity, meaning a one-to-one match, rather than scanning a large database, trying to figure out who each user is. A means more of validating than identifying. Moreover, gone are the days of readers that don't tell you anything about the general health of your facility. We believe security personnel need more accurate and comprehensive facility access data, as some of my colleagues and speakers here have shared today as well. But that data needs to be used in a comprehensive way to assess and make better decision-making for more robust security audits. This transition isn't going to happen overnight, but the security world has already started moving in that direction. Technology is going to continue to improve, and we can assess the heartbeat of the facility. Technology will continue to improve where we can assess the heartbeat of any facility and hopefully prevent security incidents as they occur, not just retroactively. In conclusion, no matter how small or large the application, these are all things that need to be considered when designing access for a facility, and something that all security professionals are acutely aware of. Manufacturers like ourselves at Active Witness shouldn't only consider access as something with the need to protect physical access points. In healthcare, there's plenty of critical areas that can be protected, such as drug lockers and pharmacies, and plenty of other smaller applications that house incredibly important assets, equipment, medical records, or people. The healthcare industry is struggling with an issue that we all wish didn't exist: the need for more intelligent security, the need to assess the heartbeat of an organization and its facility, and something that's reliable that can also streamline operations. This doesn't just mean putting up a camera and hiring more guards. It means looking at every aspect of how stakeholders, equipment, medicine, and information are protected in the modern age. Unfortunately, the adoption of new technologies can be slow, and hopefully over time we can figure it out. But we're here to help implement great solutions to solve the issues that have been discussed here today. So I'll keep it short there, and that'll be all for my presentation. But thank you guys all for having me and getting the opportunity to speak to the audience.